Turn A Gundam. Hey, how's it going again, everybody? Robert184, gundam.tk, and this is part 3 of my review of the Master Grade Turn A Gundam. And if you check out parts 1 and 2, you'll see that the parts so far look fantastic, but how does it all go together? Here's a look at the core fighter, which looks pretty good. You can see a tiny little gray Lauren inside, and otherwise it's made up again of ABS plastic, etc. But to transform this, to put this on the waist, you spin this down, and when you do that, it moves the whole cockpit, so all of a sudden Lauren is facing that way. And once you spin these wings around here and lock them down into place, trying not to pop that off, you're going to be able to attach this onto the front of the waist here. It's got a pretty solid lock on there. It's a little hard to get off. And once that's attached back on, you have a much more complete looking set of waist armor that is a lot less 00 thong. Just again, the way this is designed is very unusual from the way most Gundams are put together, and it really has that sleek, futuristic styling built into it. For the shoulder, we're just going to plug this part here into the back, and then when you do that, you'll just want to maneuver that ring into place around the shoulder before attaching on the arm. And when all is said and done, you're going to have a completed. So love or hate the mobile suit design, I have to say that the model itself is looking pretty good. Especially when you see it from the back. Again, the thruster vanes there look really great and offset the white, but I really can't stress this enough that if you're going to build this model, spend $2 each and buy yourself a gray and a black lining marker, because putting in a little bit of time and effort to this will just make it look that much better. So the other thing I really like is the use of the basic Gundam colors in the white, yellow, blue, and red. And with the red on the feet and showing off well in the face, it's just the little details of the yellow, but especially the gold showing off there, that really just make this stand out. In terms of posability, because the waist skirt, everything moves out of the way, you shouldn't have any problems there. But the leg is able to come all the way forward, of course, and you already saw in part 2 that it bends down, including at the shin there for a pretty cool effect as it launches off into the air. But the other thing is, if it goes off to the side, if you get the arm out of the way there, you're able to bring it all the way up, and he could almost do the full splits. Now what they're talking about on the box for shoulder mobility is that you're actually able to spin this whole part here behind the armor, so you still keep it locked in place, and if you do need further mobility you could just pop this out, but you're able to do that, and that allows the shoulder to come up and reach back over, and he'd be able to grab his beam saber, which you can mount back there as well. And otherwise there's no problems at all moving the arms around. You can get the full bend up once you get the elbow into the right place, of course, and as you saw, the wrists move, and this part of the shoulder also moves if you want to bring it all the way up out to the side. The Turn A Gundam is one of the larger Gundams in the pantheon of leads anyway, but if you see it next to a hulkified Destroy Mode Unicorn Gundam Master Grade, you can see that the Master Grade is quite a bit taller than even the Turn A. So here's the 20-meter Turn A next to the Master Grade Double Zeta Gundam, which is one of the larger UC kits. And anyway, you really get an idea, though, of how big and bulky this one is, especially in the width department, compared to the sleekness and the futuristic look of the Turn A again. But of course, the Turn A absolutely towers over the smaller Universal Century kits. In this case, we have the Master Grade Victory 1 Gundam. Weaponizing the Turn A is no problem once you've pulled the trigger out from inside the beam rifle, because it has a peg in the palm, and you can see the hole there, so everything's going to stay in place very well. It is also somewhat interesting to note that the fingers, because they're all independent there, can move, and when you first put the beam rifle on you might think there's a problem, but you can just bend it on the trigger and it's relatively solid, so no weight issues of that falling forward like we've seen on some other kits. And again, this is going to be a little bit too long though if you want to pull it out and expose that gray part that you can pull out that you saw in the opening of the anime. No problems again mounting the shield onto the other arm because it has a solid peg there, and because you can slide this up and down and move this handle here, you'll have no problem getting it into the manipulator hands. It's a little bit hard for me to describe exactly why, but there's just something about the way that the shape of the shield and its minimal use of the gray and the lining in the red, along with the minimal red over in the beam rifle, just seem to make the Turn A look really cool once it's weaponized, and something about the shapes just, they seem to complement the overall design. And little things like the gray inside the shield works really well with the thruster vanes. One of my few small complaints, however, is that the beam sabers just seem a little bit too small. But then again, that does match how skinny they were in the anime itself. Something else relatively unique for the Turn A is that you can fold up the rifle and have him hold it by the top, but then it sort of looks like a briefcase, you could say, but it seems to suit the pacifist leanings of the pilot Lauren anyway. Depending on how well you position the arms, you are able to slide out the back of the beam rifle though, pull out this gray part, and have him hold the rifle like you've seen in the opening credits. But it is a little tricky to get in place just right, but if you cheated and used something like some sticky tack or something, you'd have no problem holding that in place. And I don't know why medieval weapons seem to fit with futuristic sci-fi robots, but anyway, for some reason I like the effect of the Gundam hammer as well. And the Turn A Gundam has a special mount on the back. You'll see that it doesn't go into the waist section like usual, but into the back. But I cannot think of any master grades, really. Well, maybe the Gundam version 2.0 though, that can pull off this kind of stylistic pose with quite this much flair. So for some final thoughts, I guess I really just have to start with this. In terms of just a model, this is one of the best master grades ever made. I think the work that they put into this and getting the designs and the way the lines, and I'm not talking about the lining here, but the way everything just smoothly flows into place is just a true feat of engineering for Bandai's designers. And I think they took what is a pretty ugly mobile suit and turned it into something that really can look very good, especially if you're good at posing. But overall, the posability and the engineering on the inside, from the thruster vanes to the shoulder mechanisms to the gold cockpit, I think this is one of my favorite master grades of all time. So if you haven't given the anime a shot, give it a chance, because it might just turn your mind, change your opinion about this mobile suit. But I don't think anybody who buys it for just the build, or who's seen the anime, would ever regret having this for even a moment. So this has been Robert184 from gundam.tk. Stay tuned for lots more reviews and let me know what you think of this review and any other one. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. Stay tuned for lots more. No time to get my bento, honey. I'm late for work.